The story begins with a woman saying, "Sometimes I hear noises, like something being dragged. It's too light to be a couch, but too heavy to be a chair. If I were to assume, it would be about the weight of a human body." However, she quickly disregards her assumptions, saying it might just be rice or something. She mentions that she has only seen the guy who lives above her twice. The second time she saw him, she had mistakenly gone to the wrong floor and witnessed him making out with a lady. She couldn't help but wonder what that mysterious man did for a living, but eventually, she dismissed the thought and went to sleep. That night, the same dragging sound echoed throughout. In the morning, she woke up, washed her face, and prepared for the day. Suddenly, she heard a muffled scream. Concerned, she went up one floor and rang the doorbell of the occupant above her, asking if anyone was home. When she received no response, she pressed her ear against the door and heard the muffled scream again. Alarmed, she rang the doorbell repeatedly and asked if someone needed help. She added that if no one answered, she would leave. Still getting no response, she paused and thought to herself, "What am I doing? I don't even know this person, and I need to get to school." But then a pang of doubt struck her. Would I regret it if something bad happened and I did nothing? Determined, she shouted, "If I don't get an answer in 10 seconds, I'm calling the police." As she began counting down, she slowly dialed the numbers. Just as she was about to place the call, a man appeared behind her and said, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." Startled, she quickly turned around. The man looked at her and asked, "What business do you have standing at my door?" Flustered, she struggled to find her words. Finally, she managed to respond, "I heard a weird sound coming from your apartment, so I thought someone might need help." The man smirked and said, "The weird sound you heard must be Milo, my cat. She always makes noises when she's hungry." He chuckled, holding up his arm to show her a scratch. "She's very naughty," he added. Relieved, the woman acknowledged the scratches and expressed how glad she was that it wasn't anything serious. She excused herself, turning to leave. As she walked away, the man called out, "Wait, do you live below me? I'll see you around." He flashed her a smile. She responded awkwardly, feeling uneasy. As she walked away, she thought to herself, "Something is off about that guy." The man watched her leave, then slowly opened his door. He grabbed a bag of cat food and a cage, disappearing back into his apartment. His face shifted into a sinister expression as he quietly closed the door behind him.
The next chapter begins at school, where a girl asks about a weird cat sound. The MC responds, "Yeah, the guy that lives above me said it was," but the girl doubts it. She asks how it sounded, prompting the MC to attempt an impersonation. Embarrassed, the MC admits she's bad at it. The girl laughs and says her grandpa has many cats that make strange sounds, showing a video of a cat that sounds like a duck. The MC expresses annoyance at worrying over nothing, and the girl smiles, saying she tends to get paranoid easily. A guy calls out to the girl Hawa and compliments her dress. As they walk, Hawa is greeted by two girls. The MC observes her, thinking, "Hawa and I have been friends since high school. She's always friendly, pretty, and gentle, earning the nickname Princess." One girl invites them to a department party. Hawa looks at the MC, Rosa, for her response. Rosa declines, citing part-time work, so Hawa declines too. Rosa assures Hawa she can go, but Hawa insists they'll have their own party later, making Rosa smile. As Hawa is called aside, Rosa overhears students gossiping about their friendship, calling Rosa an outcast. Someone scolds the gossips, and Rosa thanks the boy but tells him not to butt in, as she recently rejected him. The boy, Ravi, smiles and says, "I'll make you give in soon." Rosa sighs. Ravi, who's interested in Rosa, teases her about their shared initial R and uses her full name, Rosanna, which she hates. Hawa smiles, watching the interaction. In the cafeteria, Hawa tells Ravi about the strange sound Rosa heard. Ravi jokes it sounds like someone tied up, suggesting Rosa's neighbor might be a serial killer. Rosa dismisses his theory, thinking if he had time to be a killer, he'd get a job and move out of that shabby apartment. Rosa sneezes, and Hawa notices she's pale and feverish. Rosa blames her late-night studying and refuses to skip work, despite Hawa's concern. Later, at her hotel job, Rosa struggles with a headache and asks to leave early, but her supervisor gives her medication instead. After work, Rosa staggers home. Dizzy, she enters the wrong apartment. Hearing a voice and the doorknob rattling, she panics. The next chapter begins with a woman throwing up. A man pats and strokes her hair, a sinister smirk on his face. As he comforts her, Rosa unknowingly enters his apartment in the background. Just as the two are about to enter the apartment, Rosa is left in a panicked state. As they step inside, Rosa runs to hide, fearing they would misunderstand if they saw her. The woman apologizes to the man for running out. He responds, "I'm just surprised, that's all." She then says she doesn't want him to clean up after her, which leaves him flabbergasted. He asks why she's degrading herself. She reveals she's pregnant and that her boyfriend wasn't happy about it, even bringing another woman home to meet her today. Rosa, listening from her hiding spot, feels a pang of sympathy for her. The man expresses his sympathy and hands her a glass of water. She tells him she called him after the incident. He reassures her, "You can rely on me, so don't worry. That's why I gave you my number." Rosa, still eavesdropping, feels a mix of emotions. She thinks to herself that the boyfriend's actions clearly showed he wasn't interested anymore. Peeking through a crack in the door, she muses, "I thought that guy was shady, but he's kind." She decides she'll leave once they go to sleep or leave the apartment. The woman asks the man, "Am I not pretty?" and continues to vent her insecurities. The man brings her a plate of food and tells her she is pretty. He grabs her chin and says she caught his attention the moment he laid eyes on her. He compliments her hair and kisses it. Blushing, she asks, "Really?" The man smirks, grabs a knife, and says, "There's something else missing." With a psychotic look on his face, he adds, "It would be prettier covered in blood." The woman is left speechless. Without warning, he slits her neck. She collapses, alerting Rosa. The man begins to speak as if in the throes of an orgasm. The wounded woman crosses her arms protectively over her belly. The man coldly says, "You don't need it anymore," and begins stabbing her repeatedly. Rosa, witnessing the gruesome scene, is horrified. In her panic, Rosa stumbles backward, knocking over a broom. The noise alerts the killer. He gets up and walks toward the door, sending Rosa into a frenzy. He opens the door but finds no one there. He reaches for the broom, and Rosa is shown clinging to the edge of the window, begging silently that he doesn't look outside. The killer puts the broom back in place, wipes the blood off his face, and glances toward the window. As he starts walking toward it, Rosa decides to climb down. She stretches her leg but suddenly slips. As she plummets, the killer is alerted and opens the window. Rosa is shown lying unconscious on an awning below. Seeing her, the killer mutters, "Isn't that?"